X-59, the plane that whispers at Mach 1.4 opening sequence in a world where sonic booms have been banned for over 50 years. One aircraft dares to break the sound barrier. Quietly. Wait, did I say break the sound barrier quietly? That's like saying screaming in a library politely, or throwing a surprise party stealthily. But buckle up, folks, because NASA and Lockheed Martin just made the impossible possible. And honestly, it's way cooler than it sounds. The problem with going fast, let's rewind to 1947. Chuck Yeager breaks the sound barrier in the Bell X-1 and everyone's like, yeah! Science! But then they realized something. Supersonic flight sounds like Thor dropping his hammer on a drum kit made of car alarms. That sonic boom, that earth-shattering kaboom when a plane goes faster than sound, became such a nuisance that in 1973, the FAA was like, nope, no more supersonic flights over land. You want to break the sound barrier? Go do it over the ocean where the fish can deal with it. And just like that, the dream of a 3-hour New York to LA flight died faster than your phone battery on 1% when you need directions. The Concorde? Gorgeous, elegant, faster than a speeding gossip. But it could only go supersonic over water, which severely limited its routes. Plus, it guzzled fuel like a frat house at a beer Olympics and had all the environmental friendliness of rolling coal in a Prius convention. So, NASA never wants to accept impossible as an answer, teamed up with Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works. And if you don't know about Skunk Works, just know they're the same people who built the SR-71 Blackbird, which is basically the Batman of airplanes. Their mission? Build a plane that can break the sound barrier without the boom. Or more accurately, replace the boom with a thump. Like the difference between someone slamming a door and someone closing it while trying not to wake their roommate. Meet the X-59 QSST. Yes, that's quiet supersonic technology with the weirdest capitalization since iPod. This thing looks like someone stretched a fighter jet in Photoshop. Got bored halfway through and said, yeah, that'll work. But here's the genius part. It does work. How do you silence a sonic boom? Okay, science time. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. When a plane goes supersonic, it creates shock waves. Basically, the air molecules in front of the plane are like, whoa, too fast, and pile up, creating pressure waves. When those waves reach the ground, they merge into one big boom that rattles windows, startles pets, and makes Grandpa think the war is back on. The X-59's design does something clever. It spreads out those shock waves so they don't all arrive at once. How? Number one, that ridiculously long nose. At 38 feet long, it's like the airplane equivalent of Pinocchio if he never stopped lying. This elongated schnoz helps shape the airflow so shock waves form gradually instead of all at once. Number two, the smooth shape. Every curve, every angle is designed to manage airflow. This isn't a plane. It's a flying physics equation. Number three, engine placement. The engine is mounted on top of the fuselage, which helps shield the shock waves from reaching the ground directly. The result? Instead of a 105 decibel sonic boom, that's lawnmower in your ear loud, the X-59 creates a 75 decibel thump. That's about as loud as a car door closing or your neighbor's bass at 2 a.m. Annoying if you're trying to sleep, but not call the cops levels. The cockpit situation now, here's where it gets weird. Because of that insanely long nose, the pilot can't actually see in front of them during takeoff or landing. Yeah, you read that right. The pilot is flying blind during the most critical phases of flight. It's like playing a racing game with the screen turned off. But wait. Before you panic, NASA installed something called the External Vision System, or XVS. It's basically a 4K camera mounted on the nose feeding into a cockpit display. So the pilot sees what's ahead, on a screen, like they're playing Microsoft Flight Simulator. Except it's real. And going 925 Mehiash, the future is weird, folks. The first flight on January 12, 2024, NASA test pilot Jim Les took the X-59 up for its maiden flight at Lockheed Martin's Skunk Works facility in Palmdale, California. The flight lasted about an hour, reaching an altitude of 10,000 feet and speeds up to 291 mph, which is fast, but not supersonic. This was just the hey, does this thing actually fly test. Think of it as the airplane equivalent of your first day at the gym. You're not trying to break records. You're just trying not to embarrass yourself, and guess what? It flew beautifully. No explosions, no emergency landings, no Houston, we have a problem moments. Just smooth, elegant, aerodynamic excellence. The X-59 was like, yeah, I'm 38 feet of nose cone and experimental technology. What of it? What happens next? So NASA has this magnificent machine. What now? Starting in 2025-2026, they're planning community overflights. They'll fly the X-59 over select cities across the United States and ask people, hey, did you hear that? And hopefully people will be like, hear what? Instead of, what was that apocalyptic noise? NASA will collect data on how communities react to the quieter sonic thump. And if all goes well, they'll present their findings to the FAA and international regulators. The dream? Change the regulations. Allow supersonic flight over land again. Bring back the era of ultra-fast commercial travel, but without making everyone below want to file noise complaints. Imagine, New York to LA in 3 hours. London to Sydney in way less time. Business meetings that don't require losing entire days to travel. Actually being able to sleep in your own bed the night before an international conference. Why should you care? Look, I get it. You're thinking, cool plane, but how does this affect me? I fly Spirit Airlines. I'm lucky if the seat reclines, fair point. But here's the thing. The X-59 isn't about building luxury jets for billionaires, though let's be honest, they'll probably get them first. It's about proving that supersonic flight can coexist with modern environmental and noise regulations. If NASA and Lockheed Martin can pull this off, it opens the door for a new generation of supersonic commercial aircraft. Companies like Boom Supersonic are already working on passenger jets that could use similar technology. We're talking about fundamentally changing how humans move around the planet, making the world smaller, connecting people faster, and doing it without the sonic boom that literally made supersonic flight illegal for half a century. Plus, and this is important, it just looks really cool. The technical marvelettes nerd out for a second about what makes the X-59 such an engineering masterpiece. The specs. Length, 99.7 feet. Most of that is nose. Wingspan, 29.5 feet. Top speed, Mach 1.4, about 925 meters. Altitude, up to 55,000 feet. Cost, approximately $632 million. NASA's version of I'll just get the premium option. Cool features? Carbon fiber composite materials. Advanced aerodynamic software designed specifically for this mission. A custom-built GE F414 engine. That wild cockpit display system. And sensor arrays measuring shockwave formation in real time. This isn't just a plane. It's a flying laboratory, collecting data with every flight to help scientists understand supersonic acoustics better than ever before. The challenge is ahead now, let's be real. This isn't a done deal. There are still hurdles. Number 1, public acceptance. Even a quiet sonic thump might annoy people. Have you met people? We complain about everything. Number 2, environmental concerns. Supersonic flight uses more fuel. In an era of climate awareness, that's a tough sell. The X-59 needs to prove it can be efficient enough to justify the speed. Number 3, regulatory approval. The FAA moves slower than my grandma's dial-up internet. Getting new regulations passed could take years. Number 4, cost. Developing commercial versions will be expensive. Tickets will probably cost more than your car. Number 5, infrastructure. Airports would need to adapt to handle supersonic aircraft. But you know what? Every major advancement in aviation faced similar challenges. The Wright brothers were told humans would never fly. Airlines were told jet engines would never be practical. Someone probably told Elon Musk that landing rockets was impossible. And look how that turned out. The bigger picture, the X-59 represents something bigger than just a fast plane. It's about innovation, about refusing to accept limitations, about NASA doing what NASA does best, pushing boundaries and making science fiction into science fact. In the 1960s, we put humans on the moon because we could. Because it was hard. Because President Kennedy challenged us to think bigger. The X-59 is that same spirit, just pointed at a different challenge, making supersonic flight practical, sustainable, and neighbor-friendly. And let's be honest, in a world that often feels divided, isn't there something beautiful about a project that aims to bring us closer together? Literally, by making us able to visit each other faster. The X-59, a plane that whispers while breaking barriers. A testament to human ingenuity. A 99-foot-long middle finger to anyone who said, It can't be done. So the next time you see a vapor trail across the sky, remember, somewhere up there, engineers and pilots are working to make the impossible routine. To turn yesterday's science fiction into tomorrow's commute, the sky isn't the limit. It's just the beginning. And it's about to get a whole lot quieter. At Mach 1.4. Also, can we talk about how the pilot basically plays a video game to land this thing? Because that's both terrifying and awesome. You've been watching Flight Sparrow, where the sky isn't the limit. It's just the beginning. If you love stories of speed, innovation, and the pilots who dare to push the edge of what's possible, this is your home in the clouds. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, so you never miss another incredible journey through aviation history and technology. From the Wright brothers to the X-59, from roaring jet engines to silent supersonic dreams, we're just getting started. This is Flight Sparrow, where flight meets story.